everybody. Good evening. It's the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2018. It's the quarterfinals, and it's the game between Canada and Spain. Well, Spanish women's basketball, could say, has been on a little bit of a rough ride of late, having to win the qualifications for the quarterfinals the other night, which they did against Senegal, but it was an uncomfortable game. Anyway, we have already today in the quarterfinals, the USA winning over Nigeria, Australia rolling to a big win over China, and Belgium beating France. And that means that Spain trying to break tradition and trying to be the first team here to advance to the semifinals after having to go through the qualification for the quarterfinals. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn. And it's, you know, if history repeats itself, at least recent history, we're going to see Canada move through. But the big difference between this game and the other ones is that Spain are the home team, and perhaps the home support will help them get over the finish line.
I mean, it is going to be difficult in this gym. You know, we heard earlier that it's a sold-out crowd. Not a ton of Canadian fans here, but people always like a Cinderella story. We saw it with Belgium. I think maybe some of the Spanish fans started cheering for Belgium, the ones who arrived early. People love a Cinderella story, and right now, Canada are 8 minutes away from tip-off and 40 minutes away from possibly being that team. Anything is possible. We saw that happen in the last game with Belgium, just not working and playing beautiful basketball to pull off a great win against France.
So Spain will have the home crowd behind them, but they are coming up against a Canada team that I think you'd have to say has really been building from strength to strength really for the past decade, and trying to cement their status as really the elite among the elite teams in the Americas. And really there are two teams in the Americas right now that look to be far and away better than everybody else, the United States and Canada. So this is the battle of Europe against the Americas, the battle of the hosts against the visitors, the battle of Spain against Canada. There are not going to be too many secrets between these two teams.
No, but it's also, I think, as far as veteran and experience goes, Spain also wins that battle over Canada. Canada's gone through some transition. This is a World Cup, first-time event for a few of these Canadians here, so it'll be really interesting. I think if Canada can stick to playing their type of basketball that they are most successful at, they can finish on top. If Spain sort of get control and force Canada to play a little bit more uncomfortable, I can see the game going towards Spain.
It's been an uncomfortable last two games for Spain, that is for certain. Losing to Belgium and also having to come from behind to win against Senegal. So, do they have enough to come out strong tonight? Canada, remember, they got an extra day off because they came from behind to win against France.
And that's another thing, Jeff. You know, we saw 3 games today, the 3 teams who had to play in that qualification game, they look tired. And if there's one advantage, I think it's a pretty big advantage. That's what Canada has over Spain tonight.
And number 22.
Well, there's Lisa Tomaitis. She has had some success with this Canada team and hoping that she gets them into the games now where she will know that she'll be playing for medal. We're going to have a pause here in the commentary to have the playing of the national anthems for Spain and Canada.
First, the national anthem of Canada.
So we'll start with Canada.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Spain, el himno nacional de España.
Okay, will it be the host with the most, or will it be the visitors from the north of America, Canada? Well, they've been impressive so far. Here will be the adjudicators, Johan Grosso of France in the middle,
Johan Rosso
Maj
from
Kazuko
France.
Forsberg on the
Mike
right from
Kazuko
Denmark, and Omar
Forsberg
Bermudez
from
from
Denmark.
Mexico on the left.
Omar Bermudez from Mexico. The commissioner for this game is Mr. Goran Radonjic from France.
I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Laura Nichols, Cristino Viñas, Silvia Dominguez. Everyone knows this Spanish basketball team. Laia Palau, Marta Chargay. Right here, you have the starting five. Laura Nichols, Alba Torrance, Laia Palau, Ana Cruz, Astu Endor. Here you see Marta Chargay, 10 points a game, shooting 46%, 4.5 rebounds. But everyone needs to contribute. I mean, this is just a team where we've seen Astu Endor have a great second half, pulled her team off with a win. Laura Nichols has played so many minutes in this tournament so far. Here we have Canada. Kia Nurse, star of Canada right now, but watch out for Nayo Renkaki-Kunwe, Kim Gaucher, Natalie Achanwa. Starting five for Canada, Maya Marie Langlos, Kia Nurse, Nayo Renkaki-Kunwe, Kim Gaucher, and Nat Achanwa. Here, Kia Nurse, kind of the face of Canada basketball, 19.7 points a game, 53% shooting. But I really think this is a game where people are going to start to notice Nayo Renkaki-Kunwe. She is just so incredibly athletic. One of the best offensive rebounders I've ever seen in the women's game. But for Canada to be successful, it's about sharing the ball. It's about watching what Belgium did when they beat Spain, watching what Belgium did today. Lucas Mondelo, head coach for Spain.
One of your former coaches, I might
One of my
add.
former coaches. We're going to also meet another one of my former coaches.
Y antes de los indirectos ensuciarlos o empujarle, que no haya calidad.
I just think for Canada to win, they have to play team basketball. Here you have Lisa Tomaitis, another former coach, coaching Canada. She took over after London 2012. So she took over in 2013.
Although she was a part of the
She
coaching staff.
was an assistant coach for the former coach Alison McNeil for a very long time, I think 10, 12 years, before she became head coach. So,
Os van a picar los brazos,
you know,
las
we
manos.
talked about that.
No
You kind of
os
have a
giréis a
continuity
mirar
that works well
vuestro aro.
in federations.
And it's great to have you here, as always, for many different reasons. Just let me get that out there. She's a wonderful person, full of humor, wisdom, and you have played for both of these coaches, so you have a lot of a feel, perhaps more recently from Lisa Tomaitis. I guess Coach Mondelo has probably evolved a little bit since you played for him.
Yes, he was a very young coach at that time. It was a few years ago. He's obviously grown and become a lot better. I mean, you talk about how every team Lucas Mondelo goes to seems to be getting hardware. That's professionally in China, in Russia, with the national team. So, you know, they say everything he touches turns to gold. Let's see if Spain can continue that tradition under him.
Yeah, well, this has been really, you get the feeling their most difficult summer with him at the helm. They also lost a game to the Czech Republic at the Eurobasket Women last year, but managed to bounce back and go all the way to win the title. Something seems like it's a little harder this year. Perhaps the pressure of playing at home, maybe some players not fully fit coming into camp, the weight of expectation. Everybody says, hey, you're the #2 team in the FIBA rankings. So once again, they are going to have to prove themselves. And this Canada team is a formidable task. Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2018. It's the game between Canada and Spain. And the winner will advance to the semifinals to take on Australia. And defensive play that time. A fault. Rankak Akunwe might have been fouled by Indoor as she got in there, but no reaction from her, so good start for Spain.
And talking about Astu Endor, we saw her commit 5 fouls in 13 minutes against Belgium. So she is foul prone.
Chanwa is guarding her. Langlos is on Laya Palau. Here's Alba Torres. Now Laura Nichols plays a lot of minutes, and she gets blocked immediately. Rankak Akunwe. Cam Gaucher. For me, this is the player who has to get it going for Spain for them to really be anything close to where they need to be. Alba Torres.
She was the MVP of Eurobasket last year, MVP of this team in years past, 2016 in Rio.
She's going to launch it, and it's going to hit front back of the rim and stay out. Nichols with the rebound. She's going to try it again. Good! Alba Torres. Well, they will breathe a sigh of relief on that Spanish bench because she's the type of player that if she sees the ball go through the hoop, her confidence will grow. And now, Gaucher bounce pass, a beautiful play and finish by Rankak Akunwe.
And you know, talking about Alba Torres, she has been on what we think is a minute restrictions because of a knee sprain that she suffered right before this tournament began. So we haven't seen a lot of Alba Torres.
Laya Palau drives in, the ball turned over to Gaucher. Spain will inbound it with 0.4 seconds on the shot clock. They have a play designed.
Maybe they should run the play that Belgium ran.
Alley-oop. And that's only going to work with 0.4 seconds if it's an alley-oop.
About how the other game, last group play game, Belgium-Spain, that Belgium ultimately ended up winning and finishing first in the group out of. Even though all the fans are not cheering for you, you still get energy from them just because of the atmosphere and how loud it is and how exciting it is.
So you liked it when you played it like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
nothing worse than an
it's better when they're cheering for you, but...
Nurse. Gaucher. Gaucher for three. Langlos missed the foul. Exciting players in women's basketball, really for a decade. She did go down with a torn ACL once. Here's Endor. And Cruz gets it back. Now Palau shakes and bakes. Pass passes it back to Nichols. Over to Alba Torrens. Oh, the hesitation, but the double dribble called by Omar Bermudez of Mexico.
I'm not sure it was a double dribble if she actually brought her hand.
Did she kind of hesitate,
behind
maybe?
her, which I'm positive it would have looked like a double dribble from his angle.
Yeah. So maybe what you're saying is he's not the best placed person to make that call?
And he called what he saw.
Certainly Canada will be glad that he did because they got it now. But Nurse fumbles the ball out of bounds. I mean, you know, you played in big games. Canada have played in big games. Where does this game rank in the big games for Canada? I guess this is very similar to Rio de Janeiro 2 years ago in the quarterfinals against France. Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah, we played in the quarterfinals in 2014, quarterfinals in 2012 as well. So they had quarterfinal experience, just not winning it.
And that ball goes out of bounds. And you learn from that because your quarterfinal defeat to the USA was obviously much heavier than it was to France.
Yes. You know,
everybody left the court, and I even remember seeing you in the airport in Rio to a woman looking like you let an opportunity go by. And you should have won.
Yeah, and this is not what Canada wants to happen here. And they put themselves in a position. They won their group, which they've never done. You know, they really put themselves in a position to be successful.
Well, that was the right play. Just the finish wasn't there. Keeping it alive. So Langlois goes out, and the impressive, in my opinion, Shea Colley comes in. I think she's got a lot to offer.
She does, and she's just starting her career. She's still in university.
Here's Nurse. So very slow start offensively for both Spain and Canada.
Surprised just because these teams have had a long time to be able to scout each other in this tournament. So everyone knows Nurse is a shooter.
There's Colley going all the way in and gets a chance for a three-point play. Now contain yourself. I know you got excited, Shona.
We were told by the boss that I'm Switzerland during this game. So I am being Switzerland.
Country neutrality.
Yeah, I'm not surprised it's a slow start just because these teams have both scouted each other. You know, Canada's played 3 games, Spain has played 4. You see Cruz on Nurse. She's going to try and take away all open looks for Nurse because Nurse has been the leading scorer for Canada. She's not going to get an open look tonight.
Ryan Palau, the legend. And she misses. Rankaka-Kumwe with the rebound of the Nurse. The Nurse has had a great tournament. Here she is putting up the jumper and hitting it. Nurse comes in averaging
19.7 points.
Yeah. Shooting 50% from three-point range. Alba Torrens fouled by Gaucher. What do you do in these minutes where it looks to be tough on both of these teams, but especially for Spain as the host nation? You've got 3 points in the first 5 minutes and 8 seconds. You've had to play the qualification game just to get here.
If this game goes down to the wire,
Chamba, swat. Myra Fields fouled by Torrens. Yes.
Sorry, yeah, if this game goes down to the wire, I think that's in Canada's advantage just because they've had that 2 days off. And trust me, this Canadian team is incredibly, incredibly fit. I think they can compete with any team at the highest level as far as their fitness level goes. And Spain, having played that extra game, will be noticeable to me at the end of the game.
As we may have seen in the last game with France, they seem to lose it just a little bit late. Fields. Torres goes behind her back. Cruz. Nichols. Endure. And nowhere to go. Nat Chamba. In some ways, it seems like Spain running on fumes. Do you get that feeling?
Yeah. You look at Spain. Loud Nichols is averaging over 31 minutes a game in 4 games. This is her 5th game in 7 days. At 31 minutes. She had 38 minutes in that, just under 38 minutes, sorry, in that game against Belgium that they lost. She played around 32, 33 minutes the other day in the qualification game. There is no way that she is not feeling it right now. I know Spain has great doctors, they have great physios, so, you know, they've spent a lot of time doing recovery and things like that, but there's nothing like actual rest, and that's what Canada got for 2 days.
So Brenda Yee checks into the game. Another drive and another basket by the impressive Kali. She has that look of, that's what I've got, what have you got?
Well, the advantage that Shea Kali has.
Wow, that's on line. It's a three-pointer. Boy, to say they needed a basket would be an understatement.
You're lying loud. Shea Kali has never played against Spain at this level. Okay, she didn't have the heartbreaking loss in Rio. She hasn't lost to Spain. So she's not intimidated. She doesn't know these players other than the scout that Canada went over yesterday with her. Where, you know, a lot of the other players have been around, remember that. They know who they are. So she has no reason to be intimidated because she doesn't know who they are. She knows they're ranked number 2, but she also watched that Belgium game and said, really? They're ranked number 2? Well, Belgium beat them, you know, what's Belgium ranked? So it's kind of an advantage being young, fresh, open mind, you know. Well, no one can stop me because they haven't yet, so.
No pressure.
Exactly.
It's hard to believe that Nurse is only 22, meanwhile. And she's been with this senior team for so long. She makes both free throws. Jarguy for 3. And look at her get up there. Naira Fields. Here she is again. Kali. 3! And Lucas Modelo has to burn a timeout. Spain already trailing by 8 points against a more rested, perhaps a more confident Canada team.
We saw Spain get down pretty big against Belgium in that game that they lost. They did make a run. They did come back a little bit, but I'm not sure if they get down by too much. I mean, look at that. 17%. And they have not shot well in this tournament. In the games that they really needed to. So
I can tell you right now, I've watched Spain for a long, long time. And I have never seen them in this type of adversity, with the exception of Eurobasket Women 2011. And that was about as difficult as it got. They didn't even get to the quarterfinals. And sometimes you have bad summers. There might be some situations for this Spain team where they might be carrying injuries, Torres, but on the other hand, you know what? That's just life. Every national team goes through it. Canada certainly have had their issues over the years with fitness, injury, and they just seem to be moving from strength to strength, this women's team.
the Canadian program I would say maybe the last, 10 years. It's been a long, long process. It was kind of like building a house.
Oh, you need to have the foundation, don't you?
Yes, you have to have the foundation, which they implemented about 10, 12 years ago. And then each brick, and they haven't quite built the house, the previous years. And maybe now they're finally putting the roof on.
Well, Three Little Pigs terms, what kind of house are they building?
Steel and brick, steadiest.
Our guy hands it off to Nichols. Now to Gill. Again, turnover. Look in the game. Hands it back to Nurse. Nurse puts up a difficult shot and almost made it. She slipped. Missed it. Follows and puts it up and in. And this is taking nothing away from Canada, but it really does seem like Spain in almost every game really have really been fighting against it. Hill misses. Now Cruz. And Zorgai got deep. The ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Canada ball. That was the play there where she followed up and missed.
Good job just staying with the play and following.
You think people back home in Canada are getting excited about this team?
There's been some buzz around this Canada basketball program, men's and women's, for the last few years now, and for very, very good reason. You covered our men's.
Yes, and women. Nurse. Now, Casas up ahead to Endor. Much better for Spain. The final minute of the first quarter. Remember, Canada were up by 8. Nurse, long, Gill hands it off once again to Casas, Burl Casas, over to Avina. And that is team foul number 4 on Canada.
And the last couple minutes here, what I don't like about, you see that beautiful pass from Casas to Endor for an easy 2. The last 3-4 possessions, they've shot threes and they haven't made them. And they're a good three-point shooting team. They're shooting 40% for the tournament, which is very, very respectable. But you missed 1, you missed 2, you're late in the quarter. Maybe try to get the ball inside for an easy 2.
Your guy. And Casas drills it from the corner, so a 2-point game now. At her foot on the line. Kali draws the foul. I think what I like about this Canada team is it seems like every game somebody else is kind of coming to the fore, and this time it's Kali here.
I agree with you. The first game, we saw Kim Gaucher have a great game. Second game, Kia Nurse. I mean, that second quarter has to go down as one of the best quarters by a person at the World Cup.
Third game was Shonan Thorburn. Oh, wait, sorry, that's the wrong year.
Third game, we saw Mayo really in the fourth quarter, some of her offensive rebound against France.
Final seconds ticking off where they get it off in time, and they have committed a foul. Where did Canada go wrong there?
I think that was a play written up by France. And it caught Canada off guard because this is out of a free throw. How is there no one back? Why is Astu, the 5-player from Spain, I mean, you see Lisa Tomaitis, she is not happy with that defensive breakdown by Canada. I don't understand that. This was off of a free throw. Where are you? How do you not have people back?
Endor So with 0.4 seconds left, there's not going to be much time for Canada. Only makes one. So on balance, Spain probably will be feeling a little bit better about themselves than Canada, but Canada certainly had some good moments in that quarter. They lead at 16-13.
Pero es que tenemos que tener la movilidad de balón y atacarnos.
FIBA 2018 y nos presentan
And here we have the statistics, sorry. 4 of 12, 3 of 10. It hasn't been the prettiest basketball. 5 for 5 from the free throw line.
That's
They've
good.
got there 5 times. Spain has only got there 2 times. I would say, you know, it wasn't pretty basketball from both teams. There were some nice plays, but there was a lot of inconsistency. You saw Spain really start slow. It wasn't until the last couple minutes when they started to find themselves. There you saw Shea Colley come in off the bench. She already has 10 points, 1 rebound in 6 minutes. She's been a spark plug for Canada. But you want to see more contribution. I mean, right now it's only Shea, Naya with 2 points, and Kia Nurse with 4. At least Spain, they haven't been hitting their shots, but they have more people scoring and more people contributing, and I think that is something that's a positive.
Do you think
they can build on?
I think maybe coming into this game, it seemed like Spain were under more pressure as the hosts of Canada, but you feel kind of that pressure might be shifting a little bit right now.
There's going to be pressure. This is the quarterfinals of the FIBA World Cup. So there's going to be absolute pressure. I mean, Canada want to get over that hump of finally winning a game and giving themselves an opportunity to be on the podium. And you have Spain, who, you know, you're last World Cup silver medalist, Olympic silver medalist, and you're the whole team.
Well, with that drive, passes, brings Spain closer. Fields at the line, and Rankaka-Kunwe going for the ball. You know what I like about Rankaka-Kunwe? She never, if something doesn't go her way, and it almost looks like maybe she's been fouled, she's not complaining. No. She just gets on with it, doesn't she? She's a great example. I know in sports you don't want to be polite per se, but
you also do have to have a certain amount of respect for the referees who are doing your game, and I'm not a fan of players talking back all the time.
No, and I have to say Canada does a really good job in that respect. Now the pass, they set good examples. Here's Nurse. But, I mean, Nurse, for example, has been on the receiving end of perhaps a couple of questionable calls, and very, you know, just took it in her stride.
But they've also been watching the games that have been going on, and we've seen the refs really not allow the players talking back, which I love.
For example, Spain in the last game.
Yes. So they've also, you know, they've watched. I'm sure the veteran, you know, the leader of the team, Kim Gaucher, has told them.
What a play that was! The give and go with Fields.
Coach Dwight has probably told them, you know, guys, just don't talk back. Move on. They're not going to change their call. They can't change their call.
Jarguy. And then Loudergill fumbles it away to Chanwa. Then Nurse fouled by Jarguy. Is Lisa Tomaitis, you know, a popular coach over there? When she was an assistant when you were playing, right?
Yeah.
But then she went from the head coach.
Yeah, no.
Does she have to change going from assistant to head coach?
Her role changed. Yeah, of course she has to become more vocal. She's not a yeller. You know, she never has been, not as assistant, not as a head coach.
Fields drives, misses. Endure. I don't want to put you on the spot, Shona. You've got some incredible insight here. You're trying to dig deep into
I
Canada
would say
basketball.
she's a pretty calm coach. All of the girls have a good relationship with her.
And the sublime talent that is Christina Uviña. Hard to believe she hasn't been an automatic selection for me, really, the last several years. I think she's good.
I think she's excellent. You know, she wasn't on that Rio team. She has been in the program, but it's not a guaranteed every summer for her.
Here she is, getting it down low and puts it up and in. In many respects, that's a good thing. You know, maybe there's only, what, 3 or 4 automatic selections in the Spain team the past several years.
Yeah.
There's Fields, and because Cruz was not included, was it, for Eurobasket Women 2013? Marie Langlos, and ball goes out of bounds.
That's a foul on Natalie Ochoa. To save the ball.
Lucas Mondello nodded his approval that Maj Kazuko Forsberg and much like Tomaitis seems to be in control of her emotions over there on the sideline, in my opinion, Mondello is as well. He doesn't really, I think he does a good job making the calls over there and dealing with the frustrations.
You see Miranda Am having to come back in for Natalie Ochoa because that is Nat's second. And I don't think you want to risk leaving her out there, possibly getting her third this early in the second quarter.
How important is Ochoa to Canada?
I mean, she's been around, you know, 2009 was her first summer. She was there in 2010. She missed 2014 because she had a horrible knee injury.
Follow, and there's Endure. Staying back on top by 1. Ayim comes out. Gaucher over to Kakukunyoe. Oh, and the player of the year in France last year misses. Now Casas. Now to kill, pump fake, goes in with the left hand. Spain now with their biggest lead of the game, 3 points. And Lisa Tomaitis has to burn a timeout.
And I just think Spain has done a good job early in this second quarter of playing Spanish basketball. They've kind of picked up the pace a little bit. They're not necessarily scoring fast breaks, but I feel like they're moving faster in their half-court offensive set. And that's working out really well for them. They're moving the ball, they're penetrating, they're looking to kick to each other. I also think on defense, they've made things very difficult for Canada. You know, Canada's looking to go inside to Nio, for example, but they're doing good one-on-one, and they're also sort of hedging and helping. There you go, they're helping.
So we either have to be higher with the big, so she can't get going downhill.
Chance points
So
compared to
be there,
Canada's 0,
right above the
which
roll
is
right away,
a little surprising to me because I do think Canada, especially Nio,
still catch as a shooter.
Renka Kakumi is a great offensive rebounder, so maybe that's something if you're Canada you want to think about because they have sort of gone cold from the field a little bit. So how do you get that back? Give yourself a second chance on offensive rebound.
So Kian Urs, Miranda Ayim, Renka Kakumi, Langlos, and Kim Gaucher back on the floor for Canada. And Jargai with the bump and the foul, Gaucher.
were down in the first. I don't think Canada is going to start to freak out either. There's so much time left in this game.
Here's Nurse. Don't forget, also Canada felt they had a huge deficit against France. In that battle for first place. Came back to win that one comfortably. Slovenia. And there is Indoor, and Spain had their biggest lead of the game, 5 points. Yin hands it off for Langlos. Now Nurse. Yin. And the ball rattled out. All the Torrance.
And I think Spain's done a good job of forcing Canada into shots outside the paint.
Drive. And the ball thrown straight in the hands by Casas, in the hands of Gaucher. Coming out, Colley coming back in.
And remember when Shea Colley came in for Canada in that first quarter.
The momentum shifted.
It did, it really did. She has 10 points. She is their leading scorer, so let's see if she can kind of get something going for Canada. And it's not necessarily just her scoring, but I think Canada needs to run a play that is going to get them an open look, preferably something inside the key, because they have been settling for shots outside, and they're more difficult shots.
Goes right at that interior defense. And what do you do in these moments when you're struggling to get a basket? Go inside?
100%. You go inside, you try and get a layup, you try and get something around the key, or you draw a foul so you can stop the clock and hit some free throws.
Or you just break in the three-pointer.
Or you go to your veteran Gaucher and you let her do that.
Now, does she call glass on that? Does she call backboard? Allow held by Colley. Live Blau, one of the all-time greats for Spain. Make no mistake about it. Here's Gaucher's three, and you can see that she mouthed the words backboard as it left her fingers. Indoor flying into the stands there, or over the advertising booth. Nichols.
Spain's already in the bonus here.
Hard to tell from that angle. She certainly thought she had all ball.
I'm sure Laura Nichols thought she had all hand.
The fans to my left thought it was a foul. But they're Spanish. Nichols, a real workhorse player. Hard to believe she's 29 years of age now. She's been in this program
very long time. And she has been one of the most consistent players for them in this tournament. She's not a big scorer, but obviously she has a lot of value because she has played the most minutes by a lot on this Spanish team.
Crochet, this time no love from the rim. By Blau. Back to Nichols. Naira Fields now explodes up the court. Sizes up the defense, decides to go all the way. Marindayin keeps it alive, hits it out to Koonway. Frank Koonway misses, but Spain have committed a foul.
good job offensive rebound. They have 5 already in this game, but they just haven't been able to convert.
Do you feel like Raincock Akunwe is just scratching the surface of her potential?
Absolutely.
In other words,
it's going to be
the player
scary.
you see now is getting a lot better. She's missed that free throw, but she's already been the player of the year in France.
Now she's going to Bourges, so she'll be playing EuroLeague.
She makes 1 of 2. What a great place that is, eh?
City of Bourges? The club is great.
Yeah, the club. One of the first places that I visited when I moved to Europe. Amazing. Oh, no, in terms of like basketball cities. Oh. Traveling. You know what? Johan Rosso said, wait a minute, that didn't look right. I'm going to call traveling on that. And I think he was right. It was just a little bit late, and that's why
I think she landed before she went out for the shot. They saw that she was going to get blocked, and then she landed and also dribbled. And I think she just came down before the dribble.
Nurse puts it on deck. Spin move, gets inside. That was a big time move, wasn't it?
It was. And, you know, this is what I like and what I want to see from Canada a little bit more. A few people touched the ball in that possession. It was reversed. Miranda Am came for a non-ball, decided to slip it. Kia saw a one-on-one opportunity where the defense, no one was in the key ready to help her. And if a team's having trouble scoring and scoring from outside, like we've seen Canada, basically since they started the game, I don't think they've had a run of consecutive minutes. And so when you're having trouble scoring and putting points on the scoreboard, your best bet is to go to the free throw line and to get to the free throw line.
That's a great point.
That being said, Canada is only shooting 66% from the free throw line in this tournament so far.
However,
tonight 8 of 9.
8 of 9. And that is fine for Canada. Torrance hands it off to Laya Palau. Back to Torrance. Zigzags her way. Yeah! Puts it up!
That is the Alba Torrance that we have seen many times before.
Yeah, slowed by injury at the start of the summer. Starting to look like the old Alba Torrance. The Alba Torrance of old. Now the ball goes out of bounds. Look at that. That's not fair, is it?
To be that good, to have that kind of a skill set. I mean, if you're Lucas Mondello, you're happy you have a player who can do that.
Yeah, Alba Torrance, born to thrill. For a long time, really. She's been doing it for Spain and wherever she plays for. There she is. Time to go to work. Oh, there she is. Oh, she gets rejected by Miranda Ayim and helped up.
I mean, helped up, but maybe let's look at this again. Great job coming from the help side.
That was
I think she helped her up to, you know, kind of say, hey, remember me? Just swatted the ball in your face.
Torrance shakes, puts it up. And the foul, great box out by Ayim. And that was the problem that Indoor had tonight, was getting into foul trouble. And as Spain's naturalized player, she is following in huge footsteps of Sancho Little. And I mean, perhaps you can see why the crowd reacted the way that it did, because it wasn't like she moved, but as Miranda Ayim boxed her out, as you do.
As you're supposed to. And again, the free throw woes for Canada at the free throw line in this tournament, not necessarily in this game, but we've talked about this, and you would hate to look look back on a game and it come down to free throws.
Cruz has it. Now Palau to Cruz for three. And Endor battling for the rebound. Canada's getting on the ground for it as well. Miranda Yee, good minutes from her.
I mean, that was just a fight. And no one wanted to give up the ball. I thought it was a great job by Miranda Yee to jump on the ball, tie it up, possession Canada.
Chandler right now has been sitting for a while, and probably that's one of the strengths of Canada, isn't it? You've got a lot, you've got some depth. I think Canada has more depth than Spain right now.
This year I do. In years past I might have said no, but this year I definitely do think that they have more depth.
Alba Torrance starting to show why she's so dangerous. She missed that, though, and it triggers a break here for Canada. Nurse over to Fields, and she falls down. She slips down. And now Palau.
How many times have we seen people slip?
17.
Counting? Thank you for that number.
O'Shea with the foul. A lot of minutes here for O'Shea, the veteran. Lauda Gill looks like she's receiving some treatment.
O'Shea's third foul, so she's probably going to have to come out.
Well, that's not a good development. O'Shea takes a seat. She led in the scoring in their first win. That was against Greece. She's been out of sorts offensively and at the line.
Could we possibly say it's because 5 out of 7 days she's played over 31 minutes a game?
Yeah, I think it's the minutes. She makes 1 of 2. She can man shoot. Well, she can't shoot 71%. I'm probably being a bit harsh there. I would have settled for that as a player in my Pee Wee league. Gets it over to a Yee, and she banks it in. Goodness me, what time is it? It's 8:45. And you know it's open.
The bank's in Spain.
The bank's open. Yes. 27 apiece. Timeout, Lucas Mondello. Let's go down to the huddle.
Jugamos la situación de serve, ¿vale? La hacemos bien, bloqueamos, al final queda aquí el pivot, ¿de acuerdo? Ha recibido un bloqueo el quinto, ¿vale? Entonces tenemos el trabajo de este down screen, ¿de acuerdo? Nos falta un pelín de agresividad de encararlas y romperlas, porque así hago una falta de balanzar. Pero no vamos con intención de falta, sino de acabar. ¿De acuerdo? 17 se te han metido 3 saltas en pista y nos cambiarán en defensa. Pues abramosla y ataquémosla o aprovechemos la espalda de ellas. Pues en defensa.
Not taking advantage and trying to get points in the paint. They had, here you see Miranda Ann's paint from the elbow. I think Canada went away from trying to get points in the paint, which to me that does not work for them. They really went to jump shots. You know, at the end of the first quarter, I was complaining about how they had 4 consecutive 3-point attempts missed. One of the biggest strengths of Canada for me is that woman right there, Nayo. But getting her the ball in a place to score, the same with Miranda Ann. Michelle Plouffe can post up. I want to see Canada attack the basket a little bit more and try and get that points in the paint number up.
See the emotion from Canada after they got that block shot?
It was a pretty sweet block. You got to cheer that one. Yeah, you have to cheer that one. Not if you're Switzerland, you do not though.
Arroyo into the game for Spain. Here in the final minute. Cruz
Coach Montello called a timeout, drew up a play for them, and in my opinion, they ran that play
to near perfection.
Yeah, they had the cross screen earlier on before Cruz drove. They had the cross screen for Endor. She wasn't open. Canada did a good job of defending that, but they also had another action after, and it was Cruz coming up, and Cruz saw a lane. Sure enough, now she's at the line shooting too. I really like when out of timeouts, teams are able to execute. And we've seen some timeouts in this tournament and teams really not execute. I mean, turn the ball over right out of a timeout. Yeah. And that's disappointing to see.
Yeah, that's not what the coach wants, is it?
The other coach does. Second was good. Andrew Fields, Nurse. Rebound, AM.
Not sure if they're aware of the shot clock right now.
It's about to expire. She looks up.
I imagine they're going to hold it for the last shot here.
Can't settle for a jumper. They're going to try to get something going to the basket. I think they're going to the basket here. Shot clock about to expire. And did she get it off in time? No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's 29-27. Spain on top of Canada at halftime. The last quarterfinal. Canada struggling inside the arc, just 6 of 23. They're 2 of 8, and they're being out-rebounded. And, you know, in the grand scheme of things, they have to be happy to be down by 2 if you just look purely at those stats.
Yeah, if you're shooting 26% compared to Spain's 39, and like you said, to only be down 2, I'm pretty happy about. I think a lot of it was they've only shot 8 threes, but they've taken really tough jumpers for me, 2-point jumpers that, I mean, they're not falling. So I think there's something else that you have to try and get to. They're 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Maybe try and run some more plays. Try and get closer to the free throw line. You know, stop the clock. Work on your shot because they're not falling from outside. So they have forced Spain into 9 turnovers, which have led to a couple of points for them, which I think is good. They had Shea, you know, they have 13 bench points. That's quite a lot for a first half, but a lot of that is Shea Colley's 10 points that she got in her first substitution on the bench. Off the bench, sorry. But like you said, Jeff, down 2, I don't think it's the best quarter we've seen Canada play, but I also know it's not the best half we've seen Canada play, but it's also not the best half that Spain has played. So, worrisome for Canada, worrisome for Spain, I'm not sure. Maybe we're just going to see a lot of great basketball here in the second half.
Well, it's the last semifinal berth that is up for grabs, and it's going to be either Canada or Spain. Spain right now up 2 and trying not to have an early exit from this tournament as the host nation. So 20 more thrilling minutes at least to come. So we'll be back for the start of the second half.
carnaval del mundo, la mejor comparsa, los joroperos. Fortísimo el aplauso, por favor, para estos genios del carnaval. El mejor carnaval del mundo, la mejor comparsa, los joroperos. Muchísimas gracias, los joroperos. Fortísimo el aplauso, por favor, para estos genios del carnaval. El mejor carnaval del mundo, la mejor comparsa, los joroperos.
(39-27), Spain on top of Canada here at halftime of the last quarterfinal of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. And, you know, it's just been a real grind for Spain in this tournament, but much of that has to do, obviously, with the opposition, especially tonight. And in fairness, you know, in all honesty, as you look at Aston Indoor's numbers, 7 points tonight, Canada have not been at their best
but they only trail by 2 points. And you wonder, you know, what that means for Spain as they head into the second half.
Yeah, I guess if I'm Spain, maybe I would be a little bit worried about that. I can't imagine Canada shooting 26% in the second half. I also, you know, looking at the statistics, I don't think he is going to go 1 for 9 again in the second half. You know, if she does, she has been successful from the line. She's 4 for 4 when she gets there, but just then don't force things. You know, don't force the tough outside 2-point jump shots, which not just she did. I also think Naira Fields had a couple tough-looking jump shots. I think Miranda Ahem forced a baseline shot, which maybe, you know, she was a little off balance. She could have kicked it out. They just got to get something going offensively, because their defense has been great. I mean, to hold a good Spanish team to only 29 points, Spain hasn't played amazing, but they're, you know, they're shooting 39%, 45% from 2, so they have done better. Canada have forced Spain into 9 turnovers, which I think has kept them in this game. If I'm Canada, I'm not worried about my defense. I'm not really worried about my rebounding. What I'm worried about is offense, and I just want to get some
easy baskets.
Easy baskets, because the shots that they've been taking, to me, they're tough contested shots. Spain's done a good job of forcing Canada into those kind of shots, but she could come out and have an absolutely amazing 20 minutes, and she is very well capable of that. So I think if Nat is able to stay in the game, she can change the outcome of this game.
Keep drawing fouls, take shots, catch as a shooter. Take shots if they're good shots. Don't pass them up.
Well,
now you guys can knock those down.
We tip things off for about 49 seconds, and you know, all the hard work, all the
when they have the ball up here and they're messing around with it,
that have been put into this all comes down now to 20 minutes
maintain vision so
for both of these teams.
If you're not digging in or helping,
it's been a real fight for Spain in this tournament, and for Canada, perhaps you know, they had to
them play well today against Belgium, but they are a very talented team. So you know you can get down and still come back, and that psychologically, that is something that they think about, because they know that they've already done it, and they're only down 2, Jeff.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was 20 they were down by. I'm just kidding. So Spain starting things off here in the second half, and Ovinia gets in here and puts the first one up and in. Back to a 4-point lead now. So both teams have had plenty of time to talk about what they want to do in terms of approach. And Chanwa decides not to go after that. And Canada will have possession. 9 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Not a good start for Canada.
And I think
what's Tomitis thinking right now?
She's not happy. You know, Spain went to a zone after that make by Ovinia. And Nayo caught the ball cutting the high post. She was open, but she tried to force the pass. And you heard Lisa Tomitis talk about, take your open shot. If it's a good shot, take it. She said, if it's a good shot. So don't force it, but that's a shot that Nayo can knock down.
Oh. They got the Moonray, commits the foul. unsportsmanlike, thinking that she wasn't playing the ball. Tomitis says
she was easily played. I mean, you saw her hit the ball. It didn't even really look like a foul from here, but definitely played the ball.
Tomitis was complaining that I think Spain had kicked the ball down here on the turnover.
I think it wasn't her foot though; it was more her thigh, and I'm not sure that's considered a kick ball.
Certainly not enamored.
And you know, Jeff, we always talk about first few minutes in the third quarter.
Hurst just took that ball away. And then Casas takes it right back for Spain. Uvini on the baseline. Rancock-Akunwe hands it off to Gaucher. Touche, Gaucher. Let's go. Off to the left.
You see Miranda Ham's mother there. Grandmother. She likes that shot.
Casas drives in. And gets a trip to the line for an and one.
And more importantly, not for Canada, it's Nayo Rancock-Akunwe's third foul.
She's going to come out, presumably for not long. Haven't seen Ruth Hamblin yet. Tonight, or
Jamie Scott.
Jamie Scott, yep.
Bridget Carlton.
Casas does not make the free throw. We talked about her hitch and her free throw, but the hustle by Spain gets the ball back.
I think Laura Gill might have got away with a little bit of a bump there on Shea Colley that pushed her out of bounds.
Gill. AM falls down. Now Torrance drives in, and I'll tell you, that's a shot she probably should be making. Shea. And Chalma hands it back off to Nurse. And she went up and down, traveling.
And Canada just doesn't, they don't seem to be in rhythm offensively. I think defensively they've done a good job. You know, they're forcing Spain into some tough shots. I mean, Spain have made some baskets as well, but they're just out of sync offensively.
Endure has it. Now Vigna. Torrance from the right corner, and Gaucher quickly to Nurse. She's taken all the way, gets it to drop. Gets it back to a one-point game. I'll tell you, the experience of Nurse really at that high level with UConn and with Canada.
WNBA this past summer.
WNBA. And Torrance drives in, gets it right back.
For me, that's just too easy. If you're Canada, you need someone to step up. And there's no way Torrance should be able to dribble.
Chanwa. Well, that was a great catch. And it was interesting how she kept the ball up. You bring it down, and you risk losing it, but this was
right
Torrance.
Here. You know, I think Natalie Achalwa needs to help Kim a little bit more when Alba Torrance came off that screen. But then again, Alba Torrance, I think her best move is kind of that hesitation.
Yeah.
So that's what she did. She hesitated. Achalwa thought she was good, but then she turned the corner and kept going.
Where is she in her fitness after all those injuries? Would you say she's about 90%, or would you say she's 100%?
I would say she's 100%. You know, as we said before, she suffered a knee injury, second to last game of her university career.
Oh, brutal. Final four, right?
Yes, had surgery.
Casas not able to save it.
Missed, you know, we missed her in 2014. She came back 2015, and it really looked like she was running on one leg. So this is a full year later, more than a year since the date of her surgery. But she really looked like she was running on one leg. Then in 2016, I talked to her, and she goes,
Naira Fields gets it a drop. Canada back in front.
I felt like my mind, she goes, I felt like my body was fine. You know, my mind felt like my body was fine. Then she goes, but then after watching tape and games from Rio, she goes, I didn't look good when I was out there. You know, physically, she goes, you know, I looked slow.
Indoor for three. Big shot for Spain.
And now her body's actually doing what her mind wants her to do.
Right.
It's the best I've seen her since pre-injury.
To Janwa. That's a big answer right there after the indoor three. Tie game.
I told you, if Nat can come out and put together a great second half.
Torrance. Over to Avenia. Avenia kind of lost it, was able to get it back.
How good has she been for them off the bench? This is not the first game where you and I have said, why does she not play more?
Oh, beautiful pass from Nurse. And Chanwa. Well, we got ourselves a game.
We said this could go down to the wire.
Lauda Gill hands it off to Indoor. Jump shot mid-range. Indoor starting to feel it. 12 points. And she is fouled. How tough is it at this level for these Canadian women? I mean, we know that with their other teams, some of them have hit the heights. But as Canada, getting over that hump to get to that semifinal of an Olympics or a FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup against a team that is #2 in the world and is always there. You know, they've finished runners-up at the last couple.
You know, like we said, Canada did everything that they were supposed to do by finishing first in their group and hopefully having the easier quarterfinals.
But they end up against Spain. Kali shaking and baking. Chance to put it up. Naira Fields chases it. Avenia down. Game being played at an interesting tempo. Jargai has been relatively anonymous tonight.
She hasn't played a large amount of minutes either.
Good play from Canada defensively there, and now Nurse. Oh, she just goes all the way up, and she ties it at 42.
But what I love about that, Kia Nurse kept her head up, but I don't know if you noticed what Miranda Am did. She was able to seal off the Spanish defender from going and helping and stepping up on Nurse. That's just the unselfish little play. You know, you have to do things that benefit your teammates, and that's what Miranda Am did right there on that play. And an easy 2 basket for Kia Nurse.
Oh, Avenia had a layup. She had $1 million move, but a 5-cent finish.
We can't fault her. She has done a great job for the Spanish team starting the third quarter. Look at this. You see Miranda Am right here. She held off Marta Chargai from getting in front of Kia Nurse. And Nayo likes that.
She's got some white teeth, doesn't she? Oh, is that like a tooth guard?
A tooth guard?
What would you call it?
A mouth guard?
Yeah, mouth guard. Naira Fields misses. Aim goes up and scores with the putback. Big play with Frank Kakakunwe on the bench. Celebrations going on over there. Canada back in front. And remember, Spain had to play that qualification for the quarterfinal. At some point, you wonder if fatigue might start to settle in. Cruz not over the play. Spain's men in 2014 went out against France at this stage. And Chanwa with the putback. Lauer Nichols.
And you know, Coach Mondello's been able to rest Martichar guy, Lauer Nichols, because he knows that he's going to need them here in the fourth quarter. So keep in mind, his players who normally play a lot of minutes, he has rested them. So it'll be interesting to see what he does, you know, down the stretch of the game.
Spain trying to dig deep to get to the semifinals. The same with Canada. Lauer Nichols goes to work against Chanwa. Soft release, just didn't get any love from the rim on that one. Now Kali left open. Oh, almost banked it in.
They've been working on those bank shots. It is 9:20 almost. Maybe the banks are closed now?
Yes. Here's Anna Cruz over to Palau. Indoor had position, and AM knocked it out of bounds. 46-44. The tension is palpable, as they say, for this crowd, this partisan crowd. One of these two teams is going to be hugely deflated after this game. It's not going to be a pretty sight. Oh, Nurse reaches in and goes in for the layup. I thought for a moment there, Sharga might be trying to foul her and hold her, but Nurse was able to get up ahead.
But she was also smart enough not to do that because it would have been an unsportsmanlike had she committed the foul in that situation, even if it wasn't a hold.
Now the turnover. And an unsportsmanlike has been called, in fact, by the French referee. Now he's having a word with the Mexican referee. This was the turnover, and Nurse quite happy to fly in. Boy, they were flirting with an unsportsmanlike. It has been called.
Yeah.
Okay, so then.
And you see Coach Tuitas talking to the referee, just asking why. Here we'll see it.
For the grab by Chanwa.
She did have her left arm and her right arm wrapped around Lauer Nichols.
Nichols has had some struggles at the free throw line.
She shot 71% for the tournament.
Late in games, she's perhaps missed, but she looked good on that one.
She is 2 for 4 today, and now 3 for 5.
Okay. Makes 1 of 2. Chance of España, and Cruz is blocked. A long jump shot by Miranda AM.
Long jump shot by Anna Cruz, but fouled by Miranda AM.
Yeah, fouled by Miranda AM. So Raincock Kunwe is going to come back into the game. She's got the 3 fouls. She spells Chanwa, and Cruz goes to the line. That's a beautiful dress that fan has.
We have seen him at every game. He is very committed.
Cruz travels in the second line. It's back to a 1-point game. Santiago Martin, Tenerife, Mary Islands. Off the west coast of Africa is the last quarterfinal. Nurse drove in and missed. Now Jargai. Into Neil Cruz. Jargai offensive rebound, tries to put it back up and in. Gill kept it alive, and it goes back to Canada. Midas having a word with the referee.
She needs to be careful also.
You have to be serious. Having to go with the ref right there at the middle of your screen now. And Laya Palau trips up Nurse. Now she's discussing it in a more calm fashion. And now she's getting heated up again. The art of making your point without getting a technical foul call.
You know, we
Something
saw
that we
those
did not
11
see from Turkey the other night.
Yeah.
He was ejected from the game after Memphis.
2 technicals in a row. Let's begin. Yeah, that was rough for Turkey.
Tardy out, passes back in.
You know, I think Canada's a little frustrated because they had those, they were 9 for 11 in the first half from free throws, and they've only been to the free throw line twice in this third quarter.
Nice move. And it looked like she kind of called her own pass. The ball goes out of bounds over to Spain. A couple of plays here, perhaps flashes back to Rio, where Kia Nurse maybe tried to do a little bit too much in that quarterfinal defeat for France.
I mean, I like that she's being aggressive. She's Canada's top scorer right now. They need her to be aggressive.
Yeah.
But I agree with you right there. There were 4 defenders waiting for her.
Hill falls down. Casas right at the line. And AM goes up. Laudergill tries to get it. Goes out of bounds. 9 seconds now. Here remaining in the quarter. What are we going to see? Is Colley going to pull up? She's going to go all the way. Are they going to count it? Yes, they do! And Colley has had her moments in this game where she has been utterly terrific.
Absolutely, and right there, here it is. So, she was into her steps when they called it.
They tried to put the collar on Colley, and she said, I'm not having any of it. I'm going to the basket. I think she spoiled it for Canada by not making the free throw. And wow. Not successful. 3-point lead for Canada. 10 minutes remaining here in Tenerife.
Es que insistimos, no cambiamos el balón, no somos agresivas. No hace falta esperar el bloqueo, ¿vale? Vamos a jugar ahora con Alba, ¿de acuerdo? Alba.
And here we see the statistics, 43-45. It kind of explains it. Canada was shooting in the 20s at half, and now they've really done a lot better job of getting easy baskets. They've been getting to the rim, 2-point jump shots, layups, and that's why they have the lead going into this fourth quarter. And you know, you heard Coach Tomidas say, shoot it with confidence if you're open. But easy shots, like don't try and take anything more difficult than you have to take, because if you continue to play, if you run the plays, make the extra pass, you're going to have a more open shot, and I think they've done a lot better job about with that in the second half. But it's also they've forced some steals, which have led to easy baskets. You saw Kia Nurse with a couple, and that's what I really think it is. Playing here, you see Kia Nurse with the steal to an easy 2 points. Don't try and complicate things. Play good defense, and it's going to lead to good shots. There you saw Shea Colley with the big basket at the end. She did miss the free throw on Laia Palau, where they gave her the continuation and counted the layup.
La línea de salud y nutrición deportiva de Pharma es la suplementación nutricional oficial del Mundial.
Well, folks, it's this one hasn't been a thing of beauty. I mean, this is a battle of attrition, really, between Canada, who should be a little fresher.
It's been a battle.
But not having, played in their qualification for the quarterfinal. Naira Fields hasn't really been a factor tonight. And up ahead to Indoor. Just like that, back to a 1-point game.
You talked about Astu Indoor having big shoes to fill, taking the place of Sandra Little. I think she fills them pretty well.
Nurse off the back of the iron. Nichols with the rebound. Now Laia Palau brings it across midcourt. Palau down low, Indoor again.
I think that was just a good read by Astu Indoor, and even better pass by Laia Palau. She kind of read her defense and she did.
Colley rattles out.
And again, I think those are 2 tough shots. One by Naira Fields, 2 by Shea Colley. Those are contested jump shots after the dribble.
Torrance. Torrance shaking and baking, puts up a 3. Almost banked that baby in. Now Colley comes back the other way for Canada. Canada needs somebody to make a shot in a big way right now. Fields puts it up, and it's an air ball. Fields has not been at the races really today like she has been for much of this tournament. She's been really good. I suppose it's difficult to be on top of your game for every single game.
Naira Fields is one of the best and most talented one-on-one players. I mean, she can shake and bake. She's incredibly athletic. She does have a great jump shot, but she's also very talented at getting to the basket. And I want to see her do that more.
Casas drives in and banks it in. Spain starting to get an extra bounce in their step, sensing that they might be able to get away with what you would have to describe perhaps as an ugly win tonight. It's been an almighty struggle. Aiden. Casas spins down, makes the shot, and boy, Canada perhaps fortunate to get away here without an unsportsmanlike. Great play by Indoor. She's been doing it on offense and there with her defense. And Colley comes in and got her in the face.
Not intentionally.
No. And a lot of, look at this, Casas. Who's going to step up in the difficult moments? You just never know. And on this occasion, it has been Casas. Spain have suddenly raced into a 5-point lead with 7.5 minutes remaining.
That's why they're all so bad. Get a good shot. Got it.
9 fast break points for Canada, 7 for Spain.
Got that hit back. We knew they're going to make a run. That was it. Done. We need to stay organized on offense.
And it has been a grind.
Okay, stay organized on offense if we don't have semi-transition. Stick with pitch.
But
Pitch. And we can always get the angle ball screen. screen at the
Spain
end.
just has so many
You
more
want to
attempts.
take him off the dribble on the second side. So either 5
They're
up
easy
or
points. I
pitch.
talked about
Get
that. I said I
Nana
think I
balls,
need to
get
see
them
Canada
moving
get
a
more
little
points
bit,
in the
and then
paint,
look to attack
easy
on the
shots.
dribble.
Spain's
Okay, we
just
need
done a
to
better
pick up
job
our
of doing that. And here you see Laya Palau finding her 5-man, who was the first person down the court. And again, reading the defense as to Endor. Great job there.
Fuerte el aplauso. En loterías y apuestas del Estado. Apostamos por el deporte. Y el sponsor de la Copa del Mundo de Baloncesto Femenino FIBA 2018.
So you see Kim Gaucher and Natalie Ochamwa check back in for Canada. You heard Lisa Tomaitis during that timeout to say, listen, you knew they were going to go on a run. Now it's over. They've gone on a run. Relax. Just play your style of basketball, which they have gone away from the first 2.5 minutes in this quarter.
And they convert to three-point play. The greatest amount of adversity that Canada have faced in this game has come here in the fourth quarter. Nurse spins, hands it off to Ochamwa, who alertly steps out to avoid the 3-second call. Nurse for three. Rancock Akunwe tries to save it in bounds. And right now, Canada need a stop. And they'd love to get something in transition as well.
And you know, that attack by Kia, I liked. She came to a 2-foot jump shot. She pivoted, but she had no one moving for her from Canada. So I'm saying Kia needs to not force the ball, look to pass. She wanted to do that there, but there was no one moving to get open.
Well, that
It's a two-way thing.
seems like it has a lid on it for some of the Spanish players. And Torrens commits the foul there.
Kind of took the tempo there, too.
That good call. Sliding in too late. Kia Nurse's brother still plays hockey, doesn't he?
He does, for the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL.
And Laya Palau. So she's probably used to those cross checks. Is that what you call that?
Yes, and her dad played professional football in Canada in the CFL.
Wow, so that's an athletic family.
It's a very, you know, her sisters played, sister played NCAA basketball at University of Oregon, I believe. Kia finished her career at UConn, so to say they're an athletic family is an understatement.
We saw that Palau had to sit down with 4 fouls. Gaucher gets it to Ochamwa. Somebody's got to make a play for Canada. Endor with the block. Gaucher takes it back out. Didn't want to challenge Endor, and they're not going to get it off in time. Shot clock violation. Been a quiet night for Gaucher, although she does have the 6 rebounds and 3 assists to go to the 3 points.
Speaking of athletic family, her uncle is also Donovan Bailey, the former...
Yeah, sprinter, Olympic sprinter.
No, not sprinter, not him. Donovan, quarterback who played at Syracuse.
Osborne. Or no, yeah.
Now we're going to have to Google this.
Ball goes out of bounds and goes back over to Canada. McNeil? No. Donovan McNeil? Is it?
No, as soon as we figure it out, you're going to go, oh, yeah.
McNabb.
Yes.
Torrens sits down. Uvini back in. Shargai back in. It's not a good situation. I'm sure they'd rather have Uvini out because she's been pretty solid tonight. Canada going to have to work hard for their points. Nurse to Ochamwa. And again, I don't know if that ball slipped out of her hands or if Casas took it. I'll have to see it again.
Looked a little bit more like a slip to me. And I like...
Shargai. Oh! 9 points to lead now for Spain.
I really like what Lucas Mondelo has done here and how he's managed people's minutes. Marta Shargai
competition. And, you know, even if they start to lose their legs here, as some of the other teams have, that have had to play that qualification for the quarterfinals, they've still got a 9-point cushion. And Chalwa fouled from behind by Nichols. That's team foul number 3 on Spain. Canada have been in difficult situations before. This is not insurmountable by a long stretch, but it is difficult. Kali, offensive foul called on Canada.
On Kia Nurse?
Yes, on Kia Nurse. Did they say she got in here too late?
Offensive foul?
Uvinia open from the right corner. Starting to take control, and you might even say they have taken control.
How clutch has Cristina Uvinia been for this Spanish team in this tournament?
She has been terrific. Nurse with a little runner.
Her performance for me, maybe she's not going to make the All-Star 5, but she's definitely on the All-Star 10 in my opinion.
Uvinia?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it seems like their best players haven't been at their best, but she has been, as you say, kind of helping carry them forward. Here's Kali. That was a little too hard by Kali.
And I understand Canada wanting to play fast and looking at early opportunities, but you have to be open. You can't force them. If you don't have anything, it's fine. Use a little bit of the clock. I know you don't clock your enemy right now, but use a little bit of it to get a better shot.
Casas makes it another one. This game is starting to get away from Canada now. 14 points. The well is running dry in the second half. They have not even scored a point in the fourth quarter. Kia Nurse fouled, I think, before the shot. They have been outscored 17-0 in the fourth quarter. That is a recipe for disaster. You consider there's 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining. And we thought Canada, you know, had struggled in the first half, and they were in very good position. They actually took the lead.
Great third quarter.
Yeah. They took the lead, outscored Spain 23-18, but the wheels have sort of come off here in the fourth quarter. Spectacularly, really, being outscored 17-0 so far. Kali, Naira Fields. Spain are not going to allow her to take the 3. Kali gets it back. Ayim tries to pass into traffic. 3:13 to go. Canada needs stops. They need to get some easy points, something. Offensive foul called on Jargal.
You know, like you said, right now the clock's their enemy. They need easy scores, but I don't want to see them start taking bad shots because they're so concerned about trying to get a quick basket.
You know, the odd thing is, really, that Canada had that extra day. And I kind of feel like if you're going to play Spain at home, this is a good time to do it. They've been struggling, but somehow Spain has been able to do enough. And it's just all of a sudden this fourth quarter has been theirs. 17-0 run for Spain.
Vamos a que no tiren de 3. Se vayan para adentro. Estamos saliendo. ¡Ey! Y si es necesario, rotamos todas. Pero que se vayan para adentro. Vale. El ataque.
Here, this person, Karel Casas. She has been a game changer. Her, and in my opinion, Cristina Oviña.
Yeah.
She came in. I mean, she had those steals. She had the and-one layup in transition. She has really done an amazing job in her 19 minutes, 13 points. We talked about Cristina Oviña kind of having a breakout tournament. I think Karel Casas has done amazing things for them in this tournament in the minutes. She hasn't played big minutes for them, but she has been very effective when she's on the court.
Canada, the clock is the enemy now. They got to get out of the lane. 3 seconds. Seems like maybe a quick 3 seconds, but Tamite is telling her team to get up. Full court pressure.
Which I think they could have done more of, considering the bench and the athleticism that this Canada team has. I mean, this is the first time we've really seen them get up and try and put some pressure on the Spanish offense.
Jargai. Spain have endured an almighty struggle as the host of this FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, but everything seems to finally be working here in this fourth quarter against Canada.
You know, we talked about that game against Belgium, and it wasn't a game played by the second-best team in the world, ranking-wise.
No.
Don't get me wrong, Belgium forced them to play badly.
Yeah.
Don't take anything away from Belgium. I love the way that they played in that game that they played today. But this is more Spanish basketball that I'm used to. This is how the team plays that wins medals.
Well, right now,
and
Canada...
it's been a struggle. It hasn't looked pretty at times.
Yeah, traveling. I was wondering where that ball was. Up and down. Mondello, I think, thought her foot didn't leave the ground, but it looked, if she didn't pick it up, it certainly looked odd.
Yeah,
Canada,
it looked uncomfortable.
Canada looking for their first points of the fourth quarter. Takes it away and kind of got ahead of herself, but got away with it. Casas hustled down to help her out, and now Jargai goes in for the layup. The fourth quarter, Canada have completely unraveled.
They haven't scored a point, Jeff, in 8 minutes and 16 seconds.
It is not a pretty picture this fourth quarter.
It really is not.
And I don't think you can blame it on playing away from home, playing in this environment. They just have not functioned offensively. There were signs of that really in the third quarter as well. Holly misses the first and finally stops the rot. The main free throw. You're down 15 with 1:44 to go. What chance, if any, do you have to win this game or to force overtime?
I mean, it's getting really tough, Jeff. It's not impossible.
You got to force turnovers.
We've seen some crazy finishes before, but
you got to find
some Spanish team.
Find somebody to foul. Well, you don't want to foul now.
And this is so smart by Spain.
And they just took all that time off the clock.
Off the clock. Because they know.
Naira Fields. Well, it's a tough way to go. The other three teams that went straight to the quarterfinals were able to win, but Canada just have not played their basketball in this fourth quarter. Oregon blocked.
Not at all. And give credit to Spain where credit is due. I think part of it was Canada's fault. They weren't running things. They just seemed out of sync, but a lot of that had to do with great Spanish defense.
And Jargon takes it forward. 35 seconds remaining. And somehow, some way, a Canada team or a Spain team that was just felt like they were running in quicksand, going nowhere fast in this tournament, have managed to get to the semifinals. They are 15 seconds away from booking their place in the last four. And it'll be a frustrating exit for Canada. Spain have done it. They have won 68-53. They honestly were looking dead and buried in some respects.
I thought momentum was going Canada's way at the end of that third quarter. And boy, did Spain come out and show a lot of guts and heart. And they just buckled down, to be honest. I thought they played well on offense, but it was all generated from their defense. To hold a team to, I mean, Miranda Am scored the last two points there, but to hold a team to 1 point.
So 68-53, Spain beat Canada to advance to the semifinals. Well, so much pressure on the Spanish team as the host nation to produce, year after year after year, and clearly they've struggled. I mean, they have not been at their best in this tournament, but with the likes of players that perhaps you would not expect, Casas, Uviña, and also Indoors had her ups and downs, but she came up big in the fourth quarter. You look at the numbers, and that percentage dropped for Canada because of that fourth quarter where they just could not score. Lauda Nichols, the emotion perhaps getting the best of her, pressure.
That might be some tears of fatigue too by Lauda Nichols. Here you see the game leaders, Nurse with 15 points, Osterwunder with 16 points, Casas with 3 steals. Karel Casas, I really think she was a difference maker in this game.
Turin's Nurse 15, Kali 13, Indoor 16 for Spain. So we'll look at some of the highlights of this game. And, we'll just talk first of all about Canada. They had the lead coming into the fourth quarter. And where do you think it went wrong?
I think defensively they gave up 21 points. I mean, that was the most points that Spain had scored in a quarter in this game. So obviously they weren't getting things done on the defensive end, which I think led to no rhythm. I kept talking about they're out of sync. There's no rhythm on offense. What are they doing? And I really think it had to do with the fact that they couldn't get a stop really on defense. So they were slow bringing the ball up the court on offense. And then once it started to get away from them, I think they just started to resort to sort of old habits, and they weren't playing the type of basketball that they had been playing in this tournament that was getting them the wins.
How much how much was the burden weighing on the Spain team as the host nation?
That might have been the slow start that we saw. A little bit of fatigue, but also the stress and the burden. I mean, this team is expected to medal at this event, and we haven't seen a team, in my opinion, that should be medaling until tonight.
Maybe until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to come out and play strong in their semifinal. They play Australia.
They do. We saw Australia play their best game so far in this tournament yesterday. They're going to be one game less than them, so that's something, you know. Liz Cambage has been resting people, and she is a force underneath.
So that'll be something that we have to look forward to tomorrow. But right now, you know, you have to be happy for the likes of Laia Palau, who delayed her retirement, really, I think, to play in this.